YouTube. Thank you so much for joining in. It's been a couple weeks since I posted a video, and it's been a crazy couple weeks for anybody who hasn't been outside. Maybe you've been sleeping under a rock. The state of the country, the state of the world, really right now is absolutely nutty insane. So that's really why I haven't had a chance to even put up a video. But I have made uh, some some changes in the last couple weeks, and I kind of want to talk about that and why it really sucks. Why it sucks to have lost 54 pounds at this point. So I weighed myself yesterday. Officially, I'm down 54 pounds since my first weigh-in. Well, my not technically my first weigh-in. Sorry, I should probably take that back. Um, so when I started officially charting all of my progress, I was 337 pounds, just under 337. I think according to my Fitness Pal, I think I marked it as 336 because I wanted to feel better about myself, but technically it was 337. My highest weight ever was 352 pounds. Right now I am 298. I just crossed over the 300-pound mark, and that is astonishing. It's absolutely crazy. So um, hopefully today we can talk a little bit about that, some tips and tricks, and what's kind of helped me get through, break below that. But before we do that, I want to definitely give you a chance to subscribe to my channel. I really try and put out at least one video a week about tips and tricks on how to lose weight. And it's usually for beginners, and hopefully people are following me along. Hopefully someone else is having the same kind of struggle that I am having, and feeling like they maybe can relate to me somehow. So anyway, I'm out grub today. So this coronavirus, I don't know if it's affected you, but it's affected me. So I've been self-employed now for about 15 years. I'm a video producer. I do TV commercials. I'm shooting a documentary right now for Netflix. I shoot a ton of wedding videos, and I just do a little bit of everything. I do like today, the film we're doing right now. I'm actually directing. I'm not filming. I'm not shooting it, but a lot of the stuff I do, I usually shoot. I'm actually a cinematographer. So anyway, because of that, there's a lot of stuff that's being scaled back. Like I have some contracts with local governments and school community organizations and things like that have scaled back so much that my consistent income that I've been able to rely on for years has all but stopped. And that's really the biggest thing that I want to talk about today is how coronavirus has affected my ability to continue to lose weight and what I've done to combat that. So 2 weeks ago when I started this, I think, or last time I posted the video, sorry, um, I had, I think I had just gone to the gym or something like that. But anyway, I was actively going to the gym at least 5 days a week. Most of the time I was doing 6 days a week, but I tried to alternate it every week so that it wasn't exactly the same. Some weeks it was 5 days, some weeks it was 6 days on purpose so that my body never got used to what I was throwing at it. And I felt like that did pretty well. My average has been about 4 to 4.5 pounds a week. There's some weeks I only did 2 pounds. Like 2 weeks ago, I only did 2 pounds. This last week, I did 4 pounds lost. And I'm actually shocked that I was able to lose 4 pounds last week, I'll be honest. Um, so 2 weeks ago, my gym officially closed, Planet Fitness. It was a nationwide requirement um, that uh, all fitness centers closed just to prevent the spread of COVID-19, and that's really it's been hard for a lot of people, not just me. I know that there's tons of people snagging up all the exercise equipment online, on social media, on local classifieds. I've been seeking out that kind of stuff forever. A lot of times you can buy this stuff pretty cheap, but right now there's so many people buying it that you just can't. So what can you do? Like what have you been able to do? I'm curious what other people have been able to do to continue their weight loss journey. Because like for me, my old self, my fat self, I would normally let that beat me up. I would let that defeat me, and I would walk away and just give up. And I guess that's one thing that's different about this time. This time is for real. This time it's happening. I'm not letting anything get in my way. So, what I have done, the most significant thing that I have done, I guess I've done three things, three main things. One of them is free. One of them I had in my garage, and one of them cost me $30. I'll talk about the thing that was free. and that's the local school, the local high school. So I think in most communities, if you have a high school that's close enough, mine's close enough to walk to, but I still drive to it because I feel like I'm just lazy. I probably should walk, but I don't. Um, so I drive to the gym, or sorry, to the school, and I run bleachers. So one morning, we got up and it was 30, no, it was 25 degrees, 25 or 26 degrees. Um, the weather app said it was going to be 32, and I was like, that's going to be pretty cold. And then I get up there and it was below that. So it was definitely cold. So what we do is we run up and down the stairs a couple times, like as fast as we could, do the bleachers. We come back down, do 10 push-ups, and if we felt like we could do it again, we'd go again. And it was good because I got my girls out there, my 17-year-old, my 14-year-old, and my buddy Brian, all of us out there, most mornings, and we'd hit the bleachers, and then we'd go do a lap or two. Sometimes we'd run, sometimes we'd just do a brisk walk. And then so we'd start at one end of the bleachers, go up and down, and then we do our push-ups, and then we'd from one end of the bleachers all the way to the other. So basically half the length of the field, or more than half the length of the field, probably 2/3 of the length of the field at least. We would do some other exercise, whether it be lunges, whether it be like high kicks, or whatever they call them when you bring your knees up really high, high knees. I think might even do that. Anyway, um, everybody likes something a little bit different, and so we just definitely made sure that we were doing something as we walk that length. And then when you get to the very end, you do your lap, you come back around, and you do it again. And we spent an hour doing that. We did that one day. Another free thing is a lot of communities. I know in our community there's some newer like paths, like pathways opening up, like jogging walkways. And there's one in particular that's new enough that they have these little installments along the way, and they're bike paths and they're like along the highway, but they're far enough off the highway that it's safe enough to do this kind of stuff. But anyway, they have like these outdoor workout equipment, outdoor gyms essentially. And so 2 days we did that. The first day it was really cold. It was definitely not easy to do, but the next day was actually wet. So um, it was it was hard to do that because we had the wind, because of where it was at, because of where it was positioned. We had the wind blowing. It was really cold. It was hard to do the full hour. I think we ended up doing a bunch of sets on this stuff, and then we went and walked probably half a mile or something, maybe a little farther than that. By the time we got back, we were all so cold internally that we just couldn't continue. Like my joints were starting to clam up, and so we called it a day. Um, but then we went back to the track the next day, and I think that was better. But anyway, so that's the free option, number one. Number two is the option that I found in my shed, and that was my total gym. Um, there's a lot of people that have exercise equipment that they bought a long time ago with the anticipation of getting thin, and then they never use it because it's either too clunky, too hard to get out. They just don't feel the motivation to do it. Whatever it is, it's hiding away, whether it be one of those ridiculous ab rollers that we've probably all bought, maybe a couple 10-pound dumbbells, maybe a kettlebell or two. But for me, it was a total gym. And I think I got this for free or for like crazy cheap at a yard sale or something. I've had it for probably 10 or 15 years. And I mean, it's when we painted our doors, it's got spray over, or it's got paint spray on it a little bit, and it's not pretty. It's ugly as hell and it's tattered, but it works. And I'll tell you, I pulled that out, put it in my living room, and it takes up the whole living room. I have to move my couch every time I get the thing out. But my kids have gotten excited about it. They love it. I broke a sweat like crazy. Probably I broke more of a sweat on that thing than I do at the gym normally, but it was definitely less intense overall. But I did like more reps, and I think that's definitely what built up the sweat. If you were to buy one of those, I mean, I guess they're probably a couple $100 used is my bet. I don't know. It's been a long time since I looked at the price of them. I remember, back in my late teens, early 20s, I was really excited about those, and I wanted to buy one, but they were too expensive. I got one for free. I ended up giving it to the DI or something, and then I bought another one, or I got this one somehow. I have no idea how I got it, but oh my gosh, I can't even see the lines. Sorry. That's been wonderful. I've used it now twice. My kids, they break it out every day, and they're like, "Daddy, can we use the total gym?" I'm like, "Sure." Like, as long as you're careful. Anyway, whatever. They love it. So, um, number three, this did cost $30. If you have a VR system, if you have a PlayStation, if you have a what is an HTC Vive, if you have a an Oculus Rift, an Oculus, I forget what the other ones are. We have a Rift, and I'll tell you there's a Box VR app that is incredible. And I love boxing, and that's part of the reason why I love it. And I guess number four, I technically do have a punching bag, and I do have some bag gloves, so I've definitely been using that a little bit, getting my aggressions out. It works at definitely a different set of muscles than like a press or something like that that you'd be using for resistance. But as long as you have proper form, then it's actually an incredible upper body workout, and it's a really really good cardio workout. So for me, I was able to maintain above, and this is crazy. It's a big number. I think 176 was my high beats per minute. So my heart rate was that high when I was doing this. It's that intense. I think you can change the intensity. I'm not sure, but I actually really liked it. So what it is these. If you've used like Beat Saber, anything like that, or what is that, Fruit Ninja, it's kind of similar to that, where you've got to use your hands to make these movements, and you're punching these bubbles, these colored bubbles as they come out. You have, one color for your right hand, one color for your left, and it's timed with music, and so you have music playing in the background, and you have it cover your ears. It's really enjoyable. It gets your heart rate up. It's out, and you do some ducking, you do some like, you know, uh, all kinds of little moves to just kind of keep your whole core engaged, and you'll feel it through your back up, about your mid back up, all the way around, pectorals, your arms, because you keep your arms up a whole lot, and you don't have any resistance. There's nothing on your arms. You don't have gloves on or anything, but it's enough of a cardio workout with your arms up, moving constantly, pulling it back, that you've got enough resistance just in the weight of your arms, and then snapping your arms back into place, and then punching out really fast to keep up with the timing, that it's a really really good workout. So um, that for me has been what saved my ass the last 2 weeks. And I was hesitant to buy the box VR because I'm like, if it's not as intense, I'm going to be frustrated. But it's just as or more intense than I expected. So I'm super thrilled with that. The hard part is now my kids want to play it, and then the sweatband gets all nasty, and I don't love that. I don't like sharing sweat with other people. So I went and bought a couple new covers for the Rift so that we didn't have to share sweat, because that just makes me sick. But anyway, so I'm curious what y'all are doing to continue to lose weight during all this, because I'll tell you, I did not expect to lose any weight. I kind of expected to stagnate, honestly. Um, I haven't been great about making my smoothies as I used to, because I used to make my two smoothies and then walk out the door and I was gone for the day. And so I'd have to have the smoothies in the car with me. That way I didn't like snack. I didn't binge. As I did snack, it was like apples and celery and things they were definitely good for me. I just realized I left my sunglasses in my other car. Um, so it's been a welcome surprise that I've been able to actually maintain the weight loss. And 4 pounds last week was like a lot higher than I thought. I thought I'd for sure like probably flatline, maybe a couple pounds at the most. But to see 4 pounds, I'm actually amazed. So I've done a projection. So my average has been four is like just under 4.5 pounds. Like it's like 4.45 pounds per week or something like that, since I started, and that's a number that I know I probably can't maintain forever, and that's really unfortunate. But here it is. What is it? The 30th now of March 2020, and I anticipate that if I can maintain my projection is 3 pounds. If I can maintain 3 pounds a week, which I know some weeks are going to be low, some weeks are going to hopefully be a little bit higher. So hopefully the average is 3 pounds. Then by Christmas, I should be down another 123 pounds. And that right there, I don't think I can technically lose 123 pounds. I think the max I could possibly lose is maybe another 100 pounds. And I mean, my wife was showing me pictures this morning. There's the shirt that I wore uh, on the 5th of March, and here it is, the 30th. So it's only been like 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks. And it's one of my favorite shirts. It's a Jurassic Park shirt I bought several years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't been able to wear it for a long time. And then a few weeks ago, I pulled it out, put it on, and I liked it. It fit nicely. And today she's like, look at this picture. You look so good. And I'm like, yeah, but like for me, like I beat myself up about it. And that's because for me, I sometimes I get frustrated because I don't feel like I'm losing it fast enough. But I know that like healthily, I'm actually doing really well. So I shouldn't complain. But like I think the biggest frustration for people losing weight is that it doesn't come off fast enough. Because once you change your mind, once you put your mind in that space that it's gonna happen, that this person is the new you, the person you've created in your head now is this new you. It's really hard that it's not just like a switch that flips that like takes the weight off. I think that's why a lot of people, uh, they opt for surgeries because it's really something that they want to just get rid of that. They like for me, it's like even this morning, like it got really hard for me. It's emotional. It's an emotional challenge every day for me to push through. Like yesterday, I even had chicken wings. I haven't had chicken wings in probably 6 months. I was out grub hubbing since I haven't been able to. My work has slowed down so much. And while I was out grub hubbing, I was at Wingstop picking up some food for a customer, and I placed an order for 7 wings, and I missed it. I didn't. I normally would have ordered like 20, but I was like, I want to order 7 because I just want to have a taste. And there's some days that I just want to have that taste, and there's some days I silence that fat person inside me. There's some days I'm like, you know what? Like if you don't have a taste, then you're gonna binge, and so that's a critical thing. Is if you feel like you want chocolate, you need to have a piece of chocolate, and then you need to eat an apple or something else that will fill your stomach, that will turn off that part of your brain that makes you feel like you're hungry, and that way you don't have to sit there and binge on chocolate because it's something that it happens. Um, but once you change your mind, once you create this new thought process, I think it's easier to do. You just have to remind yourself every single day why you're doing this. Speaking of that, yesterday I got a message on Facebook from a friend of mine, just an acquaintance, someone in my neighborhood that's been watching me on Facebook. I guess I post, at least once a week. I try and post my status, like my current update, because I want people to know that it is possible. Because I think there's so many people that feel like they want to make some sort of change, whether it be weight loss or otherwise, but there's some sort of roadblock in the way that keeps them from actually making that progress. And I was that way for a long time. So anyway, he messaged me, and this guy's not like he's not fat by any stretch of the imagination. He's quite thin, and I think it's funny he was asking me for that information. But like it's good, obviously, because obviously he has some sort of issue, and that's fine. Anyway, the question was, um, what is it that you're doing that makes it not feel like a diet? And so for me, the way I explained it to him is, first of all, you have to create a pattern. And my pattern started with breakfast. And I created my smoothies, and I have them with me today. And then they've definitely changed overall. The recipe that I use now is not the same that I used years ago. It's very, very different. It tastes different. It's like it's okay. Solicitation calls keep you coming in. It's got all those solicitation calls to interrupt your live video on YouTube. But anyway, so I said, you're first of all, you've got to create a pattern, and my pattern starts in the morning. So I used to only wake up at back before I had kids, I would wake up at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I never want to wake up earlier than that. But now that I have kids, I got to wake up earlier. It's definitely a different situation. Um, but so now my morning starts with I wake up. I 5:45 is my alarm. When I was going to the gym, I woke up at 5:15. But now that I don't have to go to the gym, I can wake up a little bit later. Now that my kids aren't in school because of COVID, I wake up a little bit later. I do my workout at 6. But I take my pre-workout right as I'm getting ready to walk out the door. I spend an hour in the gym, no matter what it is. I do something. I do something active every day, whether it be in my home, whether it be at the track. Every Monday to Friday, there's never a day that I've missed so far. Saturdays I've missed sometimes, but Monday to Friday I don't miss ever. It's too important to me. And that's the thing. You got to create that pattern. Second of all, the pattern with the breakfast. That's for me was the easiest thing to do because I can create a smoothie that I can make easily. It tastes good. It makes me feel good. It fuels my body for the day. Gives me the proper nutrients that I need, and I know exactly how many calories in there because I have done the math. Um, So wow, sorry, it's raining and it's a little hard to see out the windshield right now. But anyway, so um, second of all is eliminating complex carbs. And complex carbs are something that I think most people know they should probably remove, but they kind of don't know how to do it. And for us, that was the case for a long time. So what we did is anything that involved rice or potatoes, we replaced with cauliflower and cauliflower rice. And you can buy it at Costco. It's not that expensive. It's definitely more expensive than potatoes, but it's not crazy expensive that you can't afford it. Um, so a big huge bag of cauliflower rice is like $8 or $9. Nothing crazy, but it's like that's how much we would use in our family for a meal. So if you're doing potatoes, it's like it would be cauliflower rice with, your chicken, whatever your meat is. We cut out pretty much all red meat, and that's really not like it's not really any specific reason other than the fact that we prefer chicken. My body, I know it processes chicken faster than it processes red meat, and so I just prefer that because then I know at the end of the week my weight is falling. I can see it better. I can see it happening faster. Definitely love every now and then having a steak. I love having a double double with a protein style. That's where you put it. They put it in a huge lettuce wrap, and that's amazing. Good stuff, by the way. So anything to do with noodles, we've replaced now with zucchini noodles, and you can buy that again at Costco or Sam's Club, and that's about $8 or $9 US for a big huge bag, which essentially is like we have a family of 9, and for our whole family, we can have one big huge bag, and that's our noodles. And last week I made chicken parm, and I did a homemade breading with a little bit of Parmesan cheese, not a whole lot, and then we had the zucchini noodles as the noodle, and then I had a vegetable separately. So we had not only zoodles, but we had a separate vegetable, and that was actually pretty freaking amazing. So the kids loved it. It definitely the thing about trading out your complex carbs and putting vegetables in their stead is you definitely end up with a need to kind of have a snack later on. It's something that your body will remind you of regularly that you need something different. So there's that, and then you just have to make sure that you keep your body regular, keep it whole, and you don't let yourself binge on things that are unnecessary. Um, and when you do need to snack, you put snacks in your household, only the snacks in your household that are 100% whole and good for your body, that won't make you regret the decision you just made. So those are really the key factors. Like it's really that simple. I used to drink a lot of soda, and I've talked about this before in past videos, but I used to drink about 100 ounces a day of Mountain Dew, at least. I go through a 64-ounce cup, and I wouldn't even realize it. I'd be drinking my calories, and I hated it. So now I've gotten used to water, and I have this specific water bottle. Love it because it's insulated. It can hold my water, keep it cold for up to 24 hours. I probably fill this up 3, 4, 5 times a day, probably at least that. Um, Once in the morning, once before I go to bed, and then probably 3 or 4 times throughout the day. So yeah, probably 6 times a day. And it holds 24 ounces of water, and I put a little bit of ice in there to keep it cold because I love cold water. And then that's what I drink throughout the day. So like whenever I feel like I need something, if I'm hungry, I'll drink some water, and it just kind of settles my stomach a little bit. And then it gives me a chance to think about it. Like, am I really hungry? Like, is it time to eat? Should I find something to snack on, or do I just hold out? And sometimes you just need to eat early. Sometimes you're not eating enough calories. Sometimes you're not eating the right amount of the right food, and that's why your body gets hungry. So there's lots of reasons why your body starts to crave foods. Um, I guess the last piece of the puzzle here is when you go out to eat, you've got to have the stamina, you've got to have the self control to make good choices, and that's really hard. I think that's the hardest thing is making good choices when you're out and you don't have the comfort of what you've got in your fridge. Because you can change everything in your whole house, but if you eat out, if you're constantly on the go, like if you travel a lot, or if you're out with people, at work and they're not great influences, and you got to lunch all the time and they're eating like crap, like it makes you want to eat like crap because that's just what you do. Kind of gets you to fall back into your old self. Um, so I usually find like the skinny menu. I find something that's a little bit. I try to make one choice that's better than what I made last time. One choice that's better than what I know I can do. And sometimes, like, what was it, Saturday? I had Chili's and I only ate twice that day. And so I ended up spending 1,000 calories on just my dinner. And I didn't really feel bad about it. It was delicious. But normally I wouldn't do that. I try and keep my meals to about 500 to 600 calories each, and that's it. I limit it. And I try and always have a nice, good protein, whether it be chicken or fish. Usually those are my go-tos every time. And then I try and have lots and lots of veggies. So, like if I go to um, uh, Cafe, not Cafe Rio, Panda Express, I will get, instead of the lo mein and or the rice, I'll get veggies. So I get veggies and then an entree of chicken. And then if I go to In and Out Burger, I'll get a double double with all the fixins. You can have the sauce on there if you want, but the for me it's about taking out the carbs, about taking out the bread. I remove the bread and I have them put in a big wrap. Jimmy John's will do the same thing. I know there's a lot of places that'll do like this plant-based hamburger crap. For me, I just can't get my head around it. I don't really care. I'd rather eat the meat and save the bun. When I go to Chick-fil-A, I generally get the sandwich. I get the spicy chicken sandwich. I usually eat the bread, um, which doesn't happen very often, maybe a couple times a month. And and that's right now, like that's because of this pandemic BS. Normally it'd be like once every 2 or 3 months. But and then I get, instead of fries, I get a salad. So that's me making a choice, one choice to cut out carbs, which is the fries. Um, the other day we went to Beto's, and I don't know if they have Beto's around the country, but here in Utah we have Beto's or Bertos, Los Betos, whatever it is, Rancheritos, and it's I got a breakfast burrito, and for me I got a machata. I think it's called machata burrito, and it's got shredded steak, and then it's got a whole bunch of veggies, and it's so good. Like it's got green peppers and onions and tomato, and it's amazing. But it's in this massive tortilla, so I bet the tortilla is 500 calories at least because it's huge. So I usually eat a little bit because I like to eat a little bit like as a whole, and then I'll actually dump it out of the tortilla and just eat the food. Um, so I had a friend over the weekend, and she got a what was it, a bacon breakfast burrito, and it was filled with potatoes. And I was asking her what was in there. I was just curious, and she's like, yeah, it was bacon, egg, and potatoes. I'm like, okay, cool, it sounds good, but I just can't do potatoes because that's just I just can't do it right now. And she's like, why not? And I forget what she said, but she was kind of like giving me crap. She's making fun of me a little bit. And I'm like, well, you're not the one that started at 352 pounds. Like for me, when I make a choice to accept the carbs of a tortilla, I have to make another choice to do away with the carbs the of the potato. And so that's one decision I can make. So every meal you have to make one decision that makes it better than what it would have been had you not made that decision. So if that means getting rid of the bread, if that means getting rid of the fries and exchange it out for vegetables, if or heck, like if and vegetables are definitely better than fruit, but if you can't do the vegetables, like if it's corn and you hate corn, go with the fruit, man. Like make one decision. If even like though fruit's not as great as vegetables, make that decision. Go with the fruit. You're gonna feel better about yourself when it's all over, and then maybe eventually you can get to the point where you can make a choice to not do the fruit and do the veggies instead. So anyway, I'm gonna go off now. This has been a long video, but I really hope that you get something out of this. Please, do not forget to subscribe. Leave a comment in the description below or in the comment section below. And if you have any questions, I really would love to help. If anyone has any questions about how to get started in this, I've put together several videos now. I think this week is week 13. I need to go back and look for sure, but I think it's week 13. But anyway, thank you for hanging out. Hopefully, you got something out of this, and we'll talk soon. Bye.